Now, other interesting cultural news, you have Anheuser Busch CEO not worried about boycott, apparently. Now, this is Anheuser Busch CEO, Anheuser Busch InBev CEO, Michael Dorcas. That's kind of dorky. But it seems like, he's not too worried about their business blunder of giving a little sponsorship to Dylan Mulvaney, famous trans activist on TikTok. I think it was like 10 plus million followers who are mostly children. And they gave Dylan a beer, and that was on April 1st. It wasn't a joke, but in terms of business blunders, it was certainly a joke because it fiscally destroyed $28 billion in stock value, just gone, and millions upon millions upon millions of dollars of sales. I suspect it'll get to the billions before we know it. For the first time in 20 years, they're no longer the number one selling beer in the United States. Actually, for the second time, so last month, now this month, 2 months in a row, Modelo has beat them, which in the United States is owned by a separate company by the name of Constellation Brands. Internationally, Anheuser-Busch InBev owns Modelo, but for the United States, it's separate. Now, he claims that Bud Light sales are down about 30%. Now, granted, they do own 51 different brands of beer in their portfolio, so they have a pretty diverse portfolio. And when asked for comment, he said, quote, "Let me start by clarifying a few facts. This was a result of one can. It was not made for production or sale to the general public. It was one post and not a formal campaign or advertisement," unquote. Which is hilarious because that's what the specific Anheuser-Busch CEO, Brendan Whitworth, said. So it looks like this is the CEO of the global organization, where Anheuser-Busch is more United States specific. InBev is the Belgian-based parent company, now partnership. But it may have just been, you have so many lies, it's hard to keep up with them. And they keep rewriting history similar to 1984. Yesterday's lies are today's truth, some might say. Now, they keep saying this thing where, oh yeah, it was only one can. It wasn't a campaign. But then Dylan came out and said it was a campaign. So who's lying? Who's telling the truth? Hard to say. But he seems just not worried at all. But the fans and everyone who used to love Bud Light, they don't believe him. Hard to say why they wouldn't. Oh no, it's pretty easy to say. Because he's being a politician, he's not really saying anything. Now, he further said, quote, "Bud Light is very important to our U.S. businesses, and I would never minimize its situation. However, seeing the context of a global company provides perspective," unquote. The Bud Light volume decline in the U.S. for the first 3 weeks of April, publicly reported, would represent about 1% of our global volumes for that period. That was also when the boycott was first getting started. It's only gotten worse, which is fascinating from a business perspective. Usually boycotts let up. This one has actually gotten worse, which is saying something because culturally speaking, especially more conservatives, they don't boycott successfully. I'm sorry, it's just not happened. This is perhaps one of the things that makes the situation so unique, is that there is a lot more steam behind this boycott, so to say. Now, internationally, I've actually had some comments in the section. Again, take the time to like, subscribe, and comment. It helps the videos out. Interestingly enough, we had someone from the UK as well as Australia in the comment section a couple weeks ago where they're saying the boycott's actually happening in their countries as well. So I don't know how isolated this is just the United States. And while they do have 51 or 52 different brands that they own, people are starting to realize they're all owned by Anheuser-Busch InBev. Bud Light is the one that everyone knows specifically for the boycott because that was the one with the promotional can that was made for Dylan. But Budweiser sales are down. Michelob Ultra sales are also down. People are starting to figure out they own a lot. It'll be interesting to see. Maybe the CEO might be right. This might blow over eventually, but you have a lot of people who have left Bud Light and they're not coming back. Yangling is they're doing fantastic. Every time I go to the big box mart, I can't help but notice the only gaps in the aisle when it comes to the beer section is Coors, people are buying that. Yangling, people are buying that. When it comes to Bud Light, Corona, which Bud Light, I believe, that's another Anheuser-Busch InBev. You also have Budweiser. All those, you have Michelob Ultra, stacked to the shelf. They're not moving as fast. And it's gotten to the point where they're actually going bad. They have to pay to take that swill away. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes from here. Now, thank you again for taking the time to tune in. I really appreciate it if you take the time to subscribe. We're trying to get to 3,000 subscribers by the end of July, and we're getting closer and closer and closer. Also, don't forget to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers. Heck, Tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.